I previously discussed with you and emailed to you my views on the differences and non-comparability between your Ottawa experience and the Niagara region, so I'm not going to repeat that. You have that already. Nor do I want to dwell on the Peace Bridge. Quite frankly, I'm tired of talking about that. But it's the busiest car border crossing, 6 million cars, and the third busiest truck crossing, 1.3 million trucks between Canada and the United States, located just 1 kilometer from Douglas Memorial Hospital. The Peace Bridge complex including the bridge, customs, immigration, and brokerages, employs approximately 750 people, including many non-Fort Erie residents. What I really would like to do is focus on some of the simple business aspects of the hospital improvement plan, as that is what you have been appointed to review. Mayor Martin talked about the provincial growth plan and places to grow. So keeping that provincial policy in mind, how does moving obstetrics and women's health from Niagara Falls to the northwest edge of the St. Catharines urban boundary, a no-growth area, and much further away from Fort Erie, and closing Fort Erie's emergency room, comply with a provincial strategy that is designed to attract people and businesses to locate in Fort Erie? It simply doesn't make any sense. The hospital improvement plan contains misleading population and demographic data, and it's silent on the West Lincoln Memorial Hospital, which is located within the region, but it's outside of the NHS. It serves some 50,000 people in Grimsby, Lincoln, and West Lincoln. Now, the HIP includes the municipalities in its data, but it does not mention the fact that a hospital already serves them. It's a key distinction that need to keep that in mind as I continue my remarks. The HIP ignores the presence of the West Lincoln Memorial Hospital. Now, this hospital is a full-service hospital, including obstetrics and gynecology. What's particularly enlightening about this hospital is its mission statement, and it reads as follows: a caring team partnering with our communities to provide quality health care close to home. That's what Douglas Memorial Hospital needs to be. So again, keeping in mind West Lincoln Memorial Hospital, why does the hospital improvement plan move obstetrics and gynecology to a new, to-be-constructed hospital only 15 miles away from the West Lincoln Memorial Hospital that already provides these services, and in making that move doubles to 30 miles the distance that Fort Erie residents must travel for that service? And you and I have talked about this before. We talked about the hospital improvement plan being deficient in that it does not reflect that changing circumstances which require the NHS to include in the hospital improvement plan a reconsideration of the location of the new St. Catharines regional healthcare complex. I and every resident of Fort Erie support the concept of a regional healthcare complex for cancer treatment, cardiac catheterization, and other specialized services. However, if the plan is to be truly an improvement plan, then this complex needs to be more centrally located. Ideally, and this is just my opinion, it should be located in close proximity to Brock University, where there can be public transportation synergies with the university and the region of Niagara, and future partnerships with Brock University, perhaps leading to a medical school which will tremendously aid in the recruitment of young doctors to Niagara, a stated goal of the hospital improvement plan. Now, it's been stated by the members of the LHIN and the NHS that the hospital improvement plan is not connected to the new St. Catharines complex. Yet, the hospital improvement plan calls for an additional $65.5 million in expenditures for new services, and these are these words, example, new St. Catharines Hospital, only if approved by the LHIN and the Ministry of Health. Clearly, there is a linkage between the hospital, the new hospital, and the hospital improvement plan, and your review needs to address that. It's been mentioned before that the hospital plan is incomplete as it didn't seek the views of local medical practitioners. It appears really to be a bureaucratic-centered plan, not a patient-centered model. And from a business perspective, the plan must engage those that will be delivering the services and customers, bracket patients, receiving the services. The plan put together in 6 weeks, or more likely just pulled off a shelf, simply did not do that. The Center of Excellence concept proposed in the Hospital Improvement Plan may make sense in Ottawa or in an urban setting, but it makes no sense in a region so diverse and as geographically far-flung with no intermunicipal public transit. The HIP calls for making Douglas Memorial a, quote, center for continuing complex care with slow-paced recovery, which means sending and keeping patients from, let's say, St. Catharines here, and that will only last until the howls of outrage from family and friends forced to drive from St. Catharines lengthy distances for weeks on end or are unable to visit because of no public transit. What will the result be? The result will be the NHL will remove this service as well, just as has been done with other Douglas Memorial services. My review of the HIP plan shows that it doesn't address the real cost of implementing the plan. There is no accounting for costs of more ambulances and paramedics to compensate for additional travel time, no accounting for additional costs to the Fort Erie Fire Department for ambulance assist calls, no accounting for an expanded emergency room at the already congested Niagara Falls General to accommodate patients currently treated at the Douglas Memorial. The real question is, why are you here? Why are you reviewing a NHS hospital improvement plan, but not a West Lincoln Memorial Hospital improvement plan? The answer is because NHS ran a $17.5 million deficit in 07-08, while West Lincoln Memorial operated at a small surplus, just like Douglas Memorial ran a surplus prior to its forced amalgamation with NHS in 2000. And when you really look at it, the deficit isn't that surprising when the NHS shows 115 employees, over $100,000 in salaries, in fact averaging $130,000 to $140,000 annually, whereas West Lincoln Memorial has only 3, averaging about $105,000 a year. Perhaps, Dr. Kitts, a hospital improvement plan is already being demonstrated for us here in Niagara. Perhaps an appropriate modification you could recommend is that the hospital improvement plan be modified to make the NHS smaller and more manageable. Perhaps the solution is to eliminate Douglas Memorial from the NHS altogether and let it operate as a standalone hospital affiliated with a larger hospital, just like West Lincoln Memorial or Almont up near Ottawa where you are. If Almont can operate on a budget of $13.5 million as a standalone hospital, and West Lincoln Memorial as a full hospital can operate at $27 million, then surely Douglas Memorial could operate independently quite well with a budget of, say, $16, $17 million. By the way, that is approximately the amount that the NHS says it currently expends on Douglas Memorial. With a local public board, community pride, independent innovation, enhanced volunteering and fundraising, Douglas Memorial could again thrive as a community hospital.